This is going to be a long video, and I'm sorry. So I wanted to give some backstory. I was just like you when I was first diagnosed 9 years ago. When I got my diagnosis, I felt so dirty. I felt like a whore. I felt slutty, even though I knew I got it from a monogamous relationship. I felt like nobody would ever love me again. I thought my parents would be super disappointed in me because they were kind of religious. For months, literally the only thing I could think about was the herpes. Every time I was remotely happy, I would go back to thinking how no one will ever love me again and because I have herpes. I felt that if people, like my friends, found out that I had it, that they wouldn't want to be friends with it anymore because I was a dirty, disgusting person. And I just wanted to come on here and tell you how much it has changed since that first year of diagnosis. So around a month after my diagnosis, when I was feeling really down on myself and I was just utterly miserable, I met up with a guy at college and he asked for my phone number. And I didn't know how to politely decline because I was only 19 years old, so I didn't quite learn the no thing. So I gave him my phone number and we started texting. And I kind of liked him and he invited me out, and I was so depressed and I hadn't gone out in ages, so I decided to go on that date. And then I went on a second date, and then I went on a third date, and then we started talking about hooking up, and I started hysterical crying and had a mental breakdown and disclosed to him. I legitimately thought that he was going to immediately retract from me as if I had some sort of plague. Instead, he literally told me that he also gets cold sores, which is HSV1. I also have genital HSV1, so we have the same type and it doesn't matter. That guy was the one who told me that. I did not know that. My doctor didn't tell me that. He told me that. And that was when I started warming up to the idea that I probably would not die alone and that this could be okay. And we ended up dating for a year and it was okay. We broke up for non-herpes related reasons. And then I had to go through the whole process again, and I realized how depressed I was still about it. And the more I opened up and the more I talked about it, the more I realized that other people did not care nearly as much as I cared. We are our own harshest critics with everything. You put on a dress, you look at it, you're like, oh my God, I look fat in this, even though someone across the room looking at you like, oh my God, that person's gorgeous. It's the same thing with herpes. You think the worst things about yourself, but in reality, people who care about you, people who actually like you for you, will not care about your herpes status. It is such a minor thing in the human body. It's a red bump. Think of how many red bumps are all over your body all the time. You have acne, you have heat rashes, you have razor bumps, you have just random rashes you get from plants outside. The body is literally covered in red bumps and lumps. And sometimes they're contagious, like shingles or chicken pox. You're beating yourself up over a skin condition that in a lot of cases you could not control getting from the first place. My DMs are open if you would like to talk at any time, and I have access to support groups if you need them. But I promise you can get through this.